you have a fundamental objection to the message of a God that is only love and calls to you to awaken from an idea that has taken hold within your mind and seems to be all that there is. God calls to you from outside of that containment of self, and it becomes the most threatening idea that a human being could encounter. Is that true? That's true, and that's been demonstrated over and over. This course is the greatest threat to you that you could ever come across. It's a direct threat to the very foundation of an identity of who you think you are, which is what the world is. It's challenging in you in your mind, based on certain very fundamental prerequisites. And the prerequisites are that nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal exists. And in that equation, in those two simple statements, lies the complete process of A Course in Miracles, the undoing of a self that does not exist, and the acceptance of the self that has always existed in the eternal mind of God. One is fear, one is love. One is all-encompassing and cannot have nor resist. The other one is a tiny little voice of madness that shouts in defiance and believes that it can attack its own reality, the very source of its being. It's amazing when you look at it, isn't it? It's quite amazing. Quite amazing. Quite amazing. So we much prefer to read only the lessons that talk about love. Right? But what Jesus is really offering is a journey without distance into the darkness and the foundation of your thought system. It's a journey through fear, isn't it? It's a journey into the darkness in order to come to the light. You can't come to the light without going through the darkness, because you establish an identity or a consciousness that is a surface, it's a superficial awareness that is extraordinarily limited, right? And everything that's going on in your mind, you have locked away in the basement, right? Out of awareness. And in order to wake up, you've got to go back into the basement and look at what you're doing so that you can choose differently. You can choose whether that decision actually makes any sense at all. If you look at it in the light of sanity, and if you do, you'll see, if you bring the light into the darkness, you'll see that there is no foundation for a basis of an identity of self, an association with body and space and time, or suffering at all. There's no basis for that whatsoever in truth. But until you go down there and take a look, it seems to be that you can have an activity on the surface that we call life. We call this life. But if life is defined by not being dead, is it really life, or is it just another form of death? These are the questions that Jesus is trying to get you to ask in your own mind. I mean, and it's not that the philosophers and great minds who have been with you have not asked these questions. They have. It's just that it hasn't been made ultra-personal before.